I do want to show you the book that some of our things will come through today. It's called The Path of Healing. So we will be, at the end of our practice, reciting the prayer that we shared last week. And we're also going to do it's kind of my rendition of something that she suggests to do as well. And honestly, we do already much of this. It's just that we do it in different times in different ways. Let's start our practice. It is time. We will start seated. Any movement that you'd like to take before you find some stillness in the body, feel free. Also, before we really get started, make sure you've got some props around. We're gonna probably get to use some today. So let's sit tall, eyes closed, and begin to simply watch the breath. Cycling through every breath, just watching the body breathing. And as you're doing this, you're relaxing the physical body, relaxing the emotions, relaxing the mind in many ways. Now begin to strengthen the breath, shifting into a deeper breath, a longer breath. That form of victorious breath. Feel the strength in this breath and the life-giving principle that's in this breath. In every breath is the potential for deep healing. Let's welcome the healing element of this breath today. And at this time, we'll chant our invocation, Śiva Mantra, we'll start with chanting Om 3 times, and then we'll shift into the mantra. I bow to the presence of the divine within, our true and highest teacher that lives in and around us as being, consciousness, and bliss. It is ever present and radiates peace, lighting the way to transformation. Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's bow to each other. And feeling that harmony with each other that we are cultivating from the first breath that we took together. Let's start to move into our physical bodies and shift to lying down on the back. And once you're on the back, take the arms and reach them behind and stretch the toes forward, elongating the legs, lifting the belly button up. So we'll get situated here. Now, as you're here, just lower the low back, relaxing the back. And then on the inhalation, we'll be lifting the back up, that low back, belly button lifting. And then on the exhale, just lowering the back. So again, moving through this, inhaling, lifting, exhaling, lowering, and feeling that you're stretching the whole body when you're lifting the belly button and finding that extension in the back. And I'm just going to read to you the beginning of this section here. When you awaken, stretch every muscle of your body just as animals do, for they act instinctively in harmony with inner laws. Do this several times, relaxing completely in between. Then breathe, drawing mentally the vital air of morning into the furthest recesses of your being. While so doing, dedicate yourself to the Lord of all things. We can also use the universe for that word. From whom alone come the regenerative forces of light and love. Feel them pouring in through your soul and affirm to yourself that they can lead and guide you in the solving of every problem, in dealing rightly with every crisis, and acting wisely and with love and understanding in every relationship throughout the day. So continue to move this way, and then what we're going to do is add to it, holding whatever you can retain from what I just read, holding that and drawing that life-giving force from that one source through your entire being, your deepest recesses. Inhaling, finding some activity, and then exhaling. We'll be relaxing completely even more now. So what we'll do is find that inhale, and then exhale, separate the feet and bring the arms alongside the body. Relax your entire being. Draw that life-giving force into the deepest recesses of your being. And then bring the feet back together and inhale, reach the arms up, stretching the whole body. Exhaling, feet to the corners of the mat, arms alongside the body. Relaxing completely. And then activating once again, stretching, feet together, arms reach behind. Exhaling, feet to corners of the mat, arms resting alongside, relaxing completely. Continuing a few more of these. One more. And then we'll complete with relaxing the body completely. Feet towards the corners of the mat, toes turned out. So let's focus now on that phrase, regenerative forces of light and love. Dedicating yourself to the Lord of all things, or to the universe, or to that greater source that you recognize. Could be nature, whatever it is. From whom alone come the regenerative forces of light and love. Now what we'll do is retain this, and then tensing the whole body up, create fists, clench the feet, clench the jaw, close the eyes tight, inhaling. Maybe let the arm shake, hold the breath for a second, and then exhale, release completely out through the mouth, relax the whole body. And relaxing here for a deep breath. Once again, inhale, activate the whole body. Tightening everything up, holding, and then exhale, release. Relaxing in that light and love that comes from one source. Opening up to those regenerative forces. One more time, tense everything up on the inhalation. Hold. Exhale, relax completely. Totally open to these regenerative forces coming from one source, of which we are a part. Feel every cell in your body more alive. Flourishing and cooperating with one another. And now we'll start to take the arms out to a T. You can keep the palms flipped up and just take one arm at a time out to the sides. Bring the feet together. Keep the feet together. And then begin to bring the feet in as you bend the knees. Lift the hips just a tad here so you can get them adjusted. And then release the feet down. Draw the knees over to the right. Turn the head to the left. Keep the left shoulder blade down. Now we'll turn the head to the right and the left a few times. Feel the neck loosening up as you shift. Feel the left side of the chest opening up as you stay here, grounding left shoulder blade, grounding left arm. And then we'll keep the head turned to the left for a couple deep breaths.
We'll inhale, bring the knees to center, and you can lift the hips a little here, kicking the feet up, and then drop the knees to the left, keeping right shoulder blade down, turning the head to the right, staying here for a moment. And then we'll start to turn the head side to side. With the legs in a different position. Now feeling the other side of the back stretching. The neck continuously being loosened up here with this motion. And then we'll turn the head to the right. Again, grounding right arm and shoulder down. Feeling right side of the chest. Stretching. And we'll bring the knees to center. You can lift the hips. Just kick those feet up for a moment. And then let's come up into a happy baby. So let's take the feet up first. Keep the arms where they are. Just take the feet up and rotate the feet around. So we'll take a step here before we go into Ananda Balasana. Just moving the feet around. Knees are probably bent. And then flexing and pointing the feet a few times. Okay, then when you're ready, keep the feet flexed. Feel the tightness in the back of the legs. And then bring hands around the feet. So you're going to probably need to open the knees up to get a hold of the feet. And then we're going to create a little bit of motion here. So first, let's begin to rock side to side in our happy baby. It's moving towards one side of the spine and then the other. One side of the back and then the other. Might even get to the point where you feel, the shoulder come to the mat. And then we'll come to center and some more motion here. Let's go ahead and bend one leg so deeply that it comes much closer towards the thigh, and then straighten up the other leg a little bit. The lifted leg, straighten it up a little, and then bend that leg and straighten the opposite leg as much as you can, and then release. So we're just going to continue this, bending and straightening opposite legs. And you're probably taking this leg kind of out to the side a little bit. If you'd like to experience it upwards towards the sky, you can. See how that feels. Noticing that in the direction of the leg, there are different sensations depending on which way it is extended towards. Coordinate this with the breath. And as you're going through, you might start to take both of the legs up at the same time and then bend both of them at the same time. So moving at some point into the next phase here. Each time you're bringing the feet in towards each other, kind of like you're in a reclining bound angle posture. Maybe being able to find more extension in the legs, you start to shape a V formation with the legs once they extend. And that V might get wider and wider. So we're still going, we're still developing this. So as you're extending, finding a V. As you're bringing the feet in, really pulling them in, drawing them towards each other, and then pulling them in towards the pelvic bone. And continuing to open and close. Just a few more. Now let's take the feet out and straighten the legs as much as we can and hold here for a few deep breaths. So in a wide V from a happy baby. If that means knees are still bent, that's fine. Whatever the body can do, that's what we're going for. Nothing beyond that. Okay, now let's start to take the feet upward. Still in happy baby, you might have to adjust the hands. You might hold big toes with peace fingers, or outer edges of feet, or inner edges of feet. Sending heels upwards. And one more deep breath here. Okay, we're going to send the feet towards each other now. Hold them in, really pull. And as you're here, you're going to draw the shoulder blades in and down the back. So you can feel that the shoulders are not rounding here. They're really, really sent back. And it's like if you were standing upright with shoulders back, but we have our back on the mat. 2 more breaths, pulling these feet in, feeling the upper innermost part of the thigh, stretching. And now we're going to release the feet to the mat, but keep the feet pressed together so the knees are still open. Bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly. So left hand to heart, right hand to belly. And let's be sure that we are breathing complete breaths so we can really accept these regenerative forces into our innermost being. So inhaling and feeling the belly expand, the rib cage, the chest, and the collarbone lifts. Exhaling, collarbone comes down, the chest draws in, rib cage draws in, belly draws in. Inhaling, expanding from the belly up. Exhaling from the collarbone down. A few more of these. One more deep breath. Bring the feet to the corners of the mat, as we did before. Bring the arms alongside the body, palms flipped upwards. Relax the whole body. Emotions relaxed. Much of the mind relaxed. Soften the jaw a little bit more. And we'll take about maybe 4 cycles, as she says again, drawing mentally the vital air of morning into the furthest recesses of your being. In doing so, dedicating yourself to the Lord of all things, to nature, to the universe, to God, from whom alone come the regenerative forces of light and love. Feel them pouring in through your soul, and affirm to yourself that they can lead and guide you in the solving of every problem, in dealing rightly with every crisis, in acting wisely and with love and understanding in every relationship throughout the day. We're going to start to move the body, and we're going to make a big shift into a table position. So you might get there in a way that you prefer, or you might get there in a way that you typically stay away from. So see how you'd like to get there. You might even take a vinyasa there in between. And then from our table, let's lift the right leg behind, press through the heel. On the next exhalation, bring the knee to the nose, rounding the back. Inhaling, lifting the leg, lifting the head. Exhaling, knee to nose, the up into the chest. Continue a few more of these. Now we're going to shift into a side plank from here. So we'll start first with the modification. So we'll extend the right leg and then bring the right foot to the mat. We'll swivel to the right. So you're going to swivel and bring right heel down as you take left foot to the left. It'll just kind of drag to the left, and then inhale the right arm up. So here's our variation with the support of the knee. Feel the extension in the back, the strength in the left arm. Now check in with the left shoulder. See if you can pull the shoulder back. Now from here, if you'd like to get to the more intense variation, you'll straighten the left leg and bring the left edge of the foot onto the mat behind the right, so you have enough surface of the feet on the mat. And just take 2 more deep breaths. Left arm stays straight. We're going to come back to the variation with left knee down, and then bring the right hand down. Right knee down. Take the left arm up. So before we go further, we want to give this left hand a chance to breathe. Take the left arm up and rotate the left wrist. Rotate the other way. Okay, and we'll take the left hand down. From here, we'll inhale, lift the left leg behind. Exhale. Did we start with the left leg or the right? We usually start with the right. So take the left leg, and then we'll go ahead and start to bring knee to nose. Now, if I'm wrong, then do it the way that you know is the right way. Should be correct. So we're just drawing in and out, extending and contracting. Yeah, it definitely is the left leg. Say 1 or 2 more. And then we'll find that side plank. So we're going to extend the left leg, and this is how I confirmed it is the left leg, because we're going into side plank next. So bring the foot down, and then swivel to the right. Right foot goes to the right, left heel plants. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Feel the extension in the back. Draw that right shoulder in. Feel the wide wingspan of the arms. And then from here, if you'd like to go in, it's just about 2 or 3 breaths that we're going into that fuller side plank. You'll extend the right leg behind, coming to the right edge of the foot. And then bring the right knee back down. Left hand comes down, left knee comes down. Inhale, pick up the right arm and give a little bit of circular motion. I find it's much harder to be on the hands when there's so much cushion under my mat. Be nicer if I had a hard floor under the mat. So if you ever feel there's extra tension happening and you aren't accustomed to it, it could be that you have extra cushion underneath regarding the wrists. So moving this right hand around. And then we'll lower the hand down. Let's rest in child's posture before we come to our standing posture. So we'll separate the knees, lower the hips, lower the trunk, lower the head. Find complete breaths. Moving the inhalation from the belly to the collarbone, experiencing expansion, and then releasing out, feeling that contraction. Inhaling from belly to collarbone, exhaling from collarbone to belly. 2 more deep breaths. And then we'll rise up to table. Let's start to work in standing. So we'll roll over the toes, come into downward facing dog. About 5 breaths here as you explore. Let's look forward, float the feet forward, come into a standing forward fold. We'll look towards the belly button for a moment so we can kind of stretch through the upper spine. Then look forward. Shift and look towards the belly button. Looking forward. And then we'll look past the knees this time. Come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, lower. Inhale all the way up to standing, reaching arms out to the sides to lift. Taking arms up, pulling pelvis in. Lift the toes, feel the extension in the whole body. And then we'll bring palms together, relax the toes, bring the thumbs to the heart center. Okay, let's work in standing a little bit. Then we're going to balance, I think, today. So we'll have hands together. Step the left foot to the back of the mat. We're going to start with a twist to the right in a moment, but let's stay here. Tall spine, back leg straight, right knee bent, and then the back heel can stay lifted for a moment. Now slowly start to lower the heel, and if that feels good, then you'll stay here if you feel like you can maintain that. If that feels a little too much, you'll lift the heel. If all of this feels like too much, you're going to come to the left knee. Now we'll go ahead and send the left elbow outside of the right knee. You might need to hold the right thigh with the right hand for a moment, releasing prayer position with the hands, and then coming back to it. And then we'll straighten up the neck and then shift, turning the head, looking past the right elbow with the eyes. The eyes are going to go to the corners. If that throws your balance off, look down at the mat. And we'll inhale, start to come up, reach the arms upwards, and then right from here we're going to pivot to the back of the mat. So moving through the feet and then facing the back of the mat. So we're right into the other side, the back heel is lifted. Bring the palms together, thumbs back in towards the heart center. Feel the strength of the left leg lunging, the strength of the right leg nice and straight with the heel lifted. The spine lifting upwards. Okay, you might start to settle the right heel down. See how that feels. The calf might be ready for it, it might not be ready. And then when you're ready, right elbow outside of the left thigh. Again, you might have to hold left thigh with left hand. Pull the belly in, and then situate hands together again, prayer position. Turning the head to the left, but keeping the neck nice and long. Eyes turning to the left. Next inhale, come to center,
Reach the arms upwards. On the next exhale, let's come to a strong T. Arms are out to the sides in a star posture. Legs are spread wide. Exhale, hands behind, interlace fingers. Squeeze the shoulders back, look upwards. Exhale, fold forward. We're going to move through this. So, keeping the arms as they are, start to lunge into the left knee and take the trunk closer towards the inner left thigh. Heart closer towards the left foot, then shift over and come into the bent right leg, getting closer to the right foot, and then shift over to the left, straightening and bending with your breath, back and forth. Couple more cycles. And the next time you come to center, we'll pause there, take a deep sigh in through the nose, let go out through the mouth, release the arms down, and let's hang loose for a moment. Just let the shoulders relax completely throughout the joints. The upper arms heavy, lower arms heavy, wrists and hands heavy. We can shift the toes inward a little bit, get the ankles to stretch. And now we're going to take 2 more deep breaths, relaxing completely as best as we can, even though the legs are active. Now we'll bring the palms down, straighten the arms, and walk the hands to the front of the mat. And then we'll step back up into a forward fold. Now we're going to separate the feet from each other. And you can take them as far away as you need in order to grasp the toes with the peace fingers. You can bend the knees if you need to. We're going to go to Pada Angushtasana. So from here, inhale, lift the heart. And then exhale, bend the elbows and begin to fold. And you might start again with the bent knees, and that might change as you go through. You might be able to feel like you can straighten little by little. Five more deep breaths every exhalation. Give yourself a little pull downward. Okay, we'll start to come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Let's go into the next phase here, Padahastasana. We're going to stand on the hands, right on top of the palms, toes to the wrists. And then on the inhale, lift the head. On the exhale, lower the head. You might continue that if you find this particularly difficult, or you might be able to just feel the lift in the hips on the inhale and the drawing down on the exhale. Feeling the lift in the legs, lengthening of the legs on the inhalation, feeling that life energy move up the legs, and then exhaling, feel that energy move down the back towards the head. Inhaling, directing energy up the legs. Exhaling down the back. Now let's take it the other way. Inhaling, feeling that energy go up from the head up to the hips. And on the exhale, down the legs. Again, up to the hips, down the legs. One more of those.
And inhale, come up halfway, hands to hips, knees bent, rise up to standing. Once you're there, straighten the legs. Take the arms upwards. And exhale, palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. A few deep breaths here as we readjust, feeling the blood flow change. And let's take a sigh in through the nose, sighing out through the mouth. And we're going to come into balancing now. So we're going to find a single-legged chair posture. So all of you know what that is. So if you want to find a chair or a wall to help you with balance, because we're going to let ourselves linger. So that means we're not going to rush out of it. So if you feel like, okay, sometimes I need a little assistance for balance, get closer to some support. And we have some options. So depending on how flexible you are, we might find a fold. Let's see what happens. Some will be able to, some that's not a thing. So we're going to start by standing tall, feet hip distance apart. We'll bring hands together. And I think I'll be close to my blocks. Okay, so then we will take the right foot first on top of the left thigh, and we'll need to bend this left knee a little bit. So we're going to bend and then take this foot and position it so that you feel like it's in the right spot. It could go a little higher, it could go mid-thigh, and again, you might have some support here. Now we're going to start to sink a little. So the heart will come forward a bit as you bend that left knee and come into like you're seated, but then lift the heart up. So if you're without support, keep the hands together. Flex the right foot. So if you have a chair, you might be holding the chair just like this. You might be holding a wall like this. Lots of options. Be creative. Now, if it's possible, you're going to start to lower down and then maybe bring hands to blocks or to the mat. You can keep the left leg bent for now and just kind of relax the head. So you might use a lower part of something around you to get here. And then maybe seeing, if you can drop down a little further and allow your upper body to feel some sense of letting go. And even the lower body, right? So feeling, what is the right hip like? Is it releasing? How's the low back? Is it letting go? Going to take 2 more deep breaths. Now reversing out of this is going to take a lot of strength in the left leg. So let's see if we can reverse out. Come up maybe halfway, bring the palms together, holy goodness, and then rise up and let go. And we're going to shake these legs out before we go to the other side. And the other side is going to help that left hip stretch. So it's ready for that. So when you're ready, feet hip distance apart. Bend that right knee and then bring left ankle on top of right thigh. Flexing left foot. We'll start to bend into the right knee and feel the heart come forward a little bit. Lots of intensity being felt. Okay, now the right hip's going to be tested and the left hip will start to open up a bit. Breathing deeply, experiencing regenerative forces moving through the body. Open to light and love, even in the midst of challenge.
letting that challenge be a healing experience. Now you might start to lower down.
Even in that challenge, being able to relax areas of the body. Just the bodies that need to be working, the parts of the body that needs to be working are working. Couple more deep breaths.
So we're going to reverse out, bending the knee, palms together. Oh boy. And then straighten the legs. Shake around. Maybe sway those hips. So actually, let's take some hip circles. That would feel good after that. So standing on the mat again, hands to hips, feet separated at least 12 inches or so. And then begin to circle the hips. So we take them towards the side, front, back. And start to circle the other way. It might just be me, but I always feel like this is a funny movement. So I don't know if you experience that as well, but it's helpful. Okay, so now we're going to just come to center, and the body is waiting for a back bend. It's asking, where's my back bend? So let's come to the top of the mat, feet hip distance apart if you aren't already there. Inhale, reach the arms up, a side bend first. Exhale, bend to the right, let the right arm come down to the thigh, left arm reaches up and over. About 3 breaths here. Inhale, come to center, reach the arms up. Exhale, bend to the left, left hand comes down, right arm up and over. 3 deep breaths. Inhale, come to center, look upwards. Let's take hands behind interlace fingers, squeeze shoulders back. Exhale, fold forward.
And one more deep breath here. Release the arms down. Let us lift the left leg. So you have hands down, maybe on blocks. Let's lift the left leg and come to standing splits before we move into the next part I wanted to go into. So left leg reaching up and left toes are spreading. Now let's see how we can try to balance for a moment. So maybe let the hands hover and keep the left toes engaged in order for this to happen. Feel the weight want to shift back and forth in the right foot, trying to find that perfect balance. You might have to bring the hands down every so often. Just a couple more deep breaths. Now we'll have the hands down, step the left foot back, bring hands to the mat all the way around this right foot so we can come right into pigeon, right knee to right hand, but we're going to find back bending first.
So we will keep the heart lifted, and you can maybe take the arms out to the sides and really open them wide, or take them upwards. I feel like outward feels much better. Maybe take hands behind, interlace fingers. Maybe just let the hands hover for a moment. Depends on how much strength you have in the back. And then we'll exhale, lower down. Release. If you prefer to take this on your back with right ankle to left thigh, you can, of course. Let's say we'll be here for 2 minutes. So full breath all the way through. And coming back into what we started with. Breathing, drawing mentally the vital air into the furthest recesses of your being. Dedicating yourself to the source from whom alone come the regenerative forces of light and love. Feel them pouring in through your soul. Affirm to yourself that they can lead and guide you in the solving of every problem, and dealing rightly with every crisis, and acting wisely and with love and understanding in every relationship throughout the day. Two more deep breaths here. And we'll start to rise. Now we're going to come out of this the way we came in. So roll over the back toes, plant the right foot down, and then begin to straighten the right leg and the left leg. Maybe you lower the trunk a little bit more, or maybe you work on hovering the hands. Now the other side. Left foot comes down. Come into your fold for a moment. Sense the differences between the right leg and the left leg from the foot to the hips. And then when you're ready, lift the right leg up. Spread the right toes. Begin to hover if you can. Again, even if it's just for a second or less. And then try again. Spreading the right toes, that's the key. Two more breaths. And exhale, right foot back, hands down. Pick up the left foot so you can drop the lower part of the leg, and then send the right leg back. So find this back bend first. Arms out to the sides maybe, or upwards or behind. We're just hovering above the mat. Not just, that takes a lot. It takes a lot to take those hands off. Say another deep breath. And then exhale, lower. Start to sink your way in. Any phrases or words that have stuck, sink into those. Bring them in. Let them keep flowing throughout as you breathe deeply. About 4 more breaths. And we'll start to rise. Let's reverse out of this. Roll over the back toes. Bring the left foot to the mat. Lift the right leg up. Maybe hovering. Maybe getting closer to the left leg. Right toes spreading. Let's bring the right foot down next to the left. Find whichever variation of our forward fold that we took earlier, either holding big toes or standing on the feet. Whichever one you'd like to take. We're going there for 5 breaths. And release. Come down to seated. All the way down to seated, where we're going to find a nice twist. So let's have the right foot down and bring the left foot underneath right thigh, close to the right hip. Turn to the right, fingers face back. Pull the low belly in. And then take left arm up. Send that elbow outside the knee. Get tall and twist, pushing into the leg as you turn to the right. Every exhalation, relaxing into the twisting motion. Every inhalation, feeling the length of the spine. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, switch sides. Left hand behind. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right elbow outside the left knee. Get tall. And then press in and twist. Inhale, come to center. Let's cross the ankles and sit up tall. Let's work on the neck a little bit. So, circle the shoulders. Circle them the other way. Take the shoulders up, back, down. Turn the head left and right a few times. Fairly rapidly in comparison with the breath, just side to side. Still breathing deeply though. Bring the head to center, then head up and down a few times. Okay, then bring the head to center and lift. We'll lift the right ear upward. The head is tilted, but we're stretching the right side of the neck by feeling the lift in the ear. Lower the chin a little bit. Lift the chin. Bring the chin back to neutral, and then bring the head back to center. Okay, from here, lift the left ear upward. Lower the chin. Lift the chin. Bring the chin to neutral. Bring the head to center. Now give the head a little bit of motion. Some circles or half circles. A lot more open than before, so it feels a little funny. We have to move it around a bit. And then let's bring the head to center. Cross the wrists. Bring pressure to the base of that long muscle that goes down behind the collarbone. From your ears down behind the collarbone towards the sternum. Now push into this muscle and then lift the chin. And release. And let go. So we're going to rest, and once you find the back, what we'll be doing is resting the head on a block. So this is our first way into Shavasana. We're going to rest the head on block or firm blankets so that there's a little bit of a lift of the neck. And then we're going to actually plant the feet and let the knees come together.
So the feet are apart, the knees are together, just resting into each other. And then we'll rest hand to heart, hand to belly. And just allowing your entire body now as you maybe start with a deeper breath and allow that to become more and more natural so that there's less and less effort on your part. And the well-trained body is doing its best version of breathing for you without your will, your mental energy. The body is breathing. Feeling the whole body relaxed here. Going to now visualize yourself as a little point in the all-embracing light. So imagine a small bright flame burning within a greater, clearer flame, the radiant flame of divine love. Another way you can think of this is keeping your mind fixed on the small light within a larger light. And as you continue to let the body breathe, continue to keep your mind on this bright flame burning within a greater, clearer flame, the radiant flame of divine love. And begin to enlarge this little point of flame by your active imagination, seeing this little point of flame blend with the whole flame. This little flame blending with the whole flame. In visualizing the little flame blending with the whole flame, you might feel a desire to relax the body completely now. So taking the legs out, maybe removing whatever's under the head, and just resting in that flame. The flame from that little spark to the whole flame itself. Feeling now that your entire being has undergone regeneration in every way possible, in the body, the mind, the heart, the soul. Feeling filled completely to the brim of that divine light and love. So that now every breath that you take feels even more joyous, even more life-giving. And as you deepen the breath, experiencing that, moving now in the hands and the feet. Maybe stretching the arms behind as we're shifting out of that restful position and moving now into more activity. Maybe bringing knees into the chest and rocking a little side to side. At some point, resting on your side. And then rising to seated. So what we'll do to finish our practice is sit tall. You can rest hands or you can bring palms together. Let's actually bring palms together. I'm going to chant Mangala Mantra, wishing success for the whole world. So from this peace and tranquility, this rejuvenation that we have embodied, we want to be able to send that outwardly, because being all connected with each other, that means that our thoughts as well are connected. It is clear when we pay attention. So this is a powerful moment. We want to send this outwardly so that all beings can experience deep rejuvenation, peace, and tranquility, and that we all together find it. And then we will recite the prayer from the path of healing, or you will listen. So thinking of others, sending out this beautiful energy. Svasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahi mahisha go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O benign spirit of love, perfect solvent for all that is inharmonious and impure, this day I offer myself to your service. Make of me a more perfect instrument, that I may become worthy to transmit through the dense matter in which I am embodied some particle of the divine spirit to my environment. If I do anything or think anything that is contrary to the spirit of truth and harmony,
May you, my true self, whose dwelling place is my heart, sound out a note within my brain which may so vibrate through my being that I, here, recognize its warning and am recalled to obey the purposes of my soul. When I forget you during this day in the stress of living, recall yourself to my wandering mind so that I may make contact with you again. May love be my only guide this day. May all my acts be gestures of praise and gratitude. My thoughts be messengers creating in my environment beauty and joy and peace. Bless my endeavors. Guide my steps. Inspire and strengthen me in my resolutions. Help me to equip myself for wider service. I offer this day to you, O Lord of life, universe, nature, God. Fill my soul with light and possess utterly both it and me. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let's seal that with one long Om. Deep breath in. Om. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the light in you that is the same light in me. Namaste.